Hi Gemini, welcome to your July 2016 love reading. Two sevens in a row. Okay. I'm putting the card from the bottom of the deck with this, just so I picked an extra card. Well, recent past is the Seven of Pentacles. So this would mean that some of you have recently embarked on a relationship and you're seeing if it's going to work out. You know, it has started out promising, but you're not sure. I'm feeling that for some of you, this might be literally with a Pentacles person, which is an earth sign individual. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. There may have been a situation where you are already in a relationship. I feel that some of you, though, may be in a relationship. Maybe it's just a marriage that you're basically living separate lives, but you're still legally married. I have no clue. Because I get the Seven of Swords, so it's like having to slink off. And not, you know, having to be very careful about how you proceed. Doing things kind of surreptitiously or undercover, you know. And so it could be that you have started a relationship with somebody even though you are married, but maybe you're just married in name only and haven't gotten divorced for whatever the reason. And so you're assessing whether this new situation is really a viable situation. But, you know, it could be, too, that you did start a relationship and this person is unreliable. This person is doing something underhanded. I hope it's not you. I don't think it would be you. Maybe it just means that the person is an air sign. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Sometimes I get a sketchy feel from that card that the person isn't who they claim to be. And, you know, maybe even taking advantage of another person. The higher perspective is the Knight of Wands. And I got this in the exact same position for another sign. I think it was for Cancer. So it could be that you're just having an affair, but you think it's something, maybe you're thinking that you're going to wait around for it to really blossom and take off, but it's really just somebody playing you, maybe cheating on their spouse and telling you that they're single, or they tell you they're going to leave their partner. And this card can indicate somebody who is immature but very exciting, and that may be what hooked you in. I don't know. So interesting. Could be a fire sign person. You know, sometimes that's the other thing too, is maybe there's two people involved. So it could be an air sign or a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What crosses you is the Wheel of Fortune. So I read the card that crosses you, or the obstacle card, in the reverse. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse talks about a downward trend. And when you think of a downward trend, it's when things are not necessarily in alignment. And when things are not in alignment, I go back to the person, him or herself, and ask, what sort of behaviors are you engaging in? What sort of thoughts are you thinking? Everything is like in a state of flux in life. You think about the guy, he works in a factory, he buys a lottery ticket and he wins the Powerball, and he wins $100 million. And one day he was making, $25,000 a year, and the next day he has $100 million in the bank. It can literally be that quick, that you go from one situation to the other. But a lot of times when we're not conscious of it, we think it's happening to us. And so decisions are made based on the moment, based on a whim. And, you can make decisions on the spur of the moment, but just remember that the outcome may be as random as the attention you put towards it, which was nothing. You didn't put attention towards it. So the point I'm trying to make is that if you really want to have something specifically good happen to you within a relationship, you have to treat relationships with a certain amount of seriousness. This guy likes to play the field. He likes to come into town, have a romp in the hay, and then go and do it somewhere else. And sometimes, I really believe that Geminis gravitate towards those people because they are freedom-loving themselves. And that is like totally cool. You can be totally freedom-loving and still be in a relationship that is orderly, that has actual mutual respect and has a sense of continuity, that it's not on again, off again, just kind of up and down. Because that's what the Wheel of Fortune is. It's about being up and down, up and down. And when you're up, everything looks great. Look at them. And when you're down, look at them. But when you're up, you're just like on top of the world. But that's like a bipolar existence. The consciousness to have in order to remedy this situation is the Nine of Pentacles. So this is a card of somebody who, because it's a 9, there's like a lone quality to it. Like if you think about the Hermit card is number 9 in the Major Arcana. There's a reflection associated with it, or just being alone with oneself. This is, because it's Pentacles, it can be, somebody who is financially self-sufficient. And, it's funny, I just associated it with Virgo. And because this can indicate an earth sign that maybe you were involved with recently. So maybe this is a Virgo, just because 9 and the Hermit card, and the Hermit card connects to Virgo, and then you got the Pentacles. I don't know. That was just my feeling. And particularly for women, I think it's really helpful to see yourself with a sense of autonomy. And, this card kind of stresses that. There's also a sense, too, that an earth sign individual can be a very good grounding influence on your life. And this is somebody that was from the recent past. The advice is the Three of Swords. So if you have a, I was going to say threesome, but I mean a love triangle, the swords can talk about a necessary cutting. I think that was in one of the keywords in my book from Anthony Lewis, Plain and Simple, which has some wonderful keywords. I recommend that book if you're trying to learn the tarot, but you don't want a ton of background information at first, just so you can get to know the cards. I recommend that book. Because sometimes when I'm just doing my readings now, I say these phrases and I feel like I should attribute it to the actual author and not pretend that I'm just coming up with them myself. And but I'm not sure if that was the Ace of Swords or the Three of Swords. I think it was the Three of Swords, though. Because, you know, the Three of Swords can talk about heart surgery, actually. But in a love reading, I think it's a necessary cutting. So maybe if you have been involved in a situation, now maybe you're not the one cheating, maybe you're in the other person. And maybe you'll just have to be the one that steps up to the plate and says, you know what, I'm no longer going to be a part of this. I'm no longer going to be a part of this. You know, you can have her or him, but I'm out of it. I'm out of this threesome. Because the outcome is the Two of Swords, and this is about somebody that's has to make a decision, but see, they have a blindfold, so they're kind of in denial over it. So if you leave the situation, that other person, like your spouse or your lover, you know, will have to be the one that decides whether they're going to leave their spouse or you know, and gravitate towards you, or if they're going to stay in their situation. You're putting the ball in their court when you do that. When you leave, then you put the ball in their court. This can also indicate an impasse. Like it may indicate that there's no movement, that it's not going to, you know, resolve itself right away. So you know, you can't really say. That's why I picked another card just as clarification, and I got the King of Pentacles. So that could have something to do with a certain person. Maybe the person, if you are the one that has to decide, maybe it's saying the person who's the Earth sign is the person who is a safer bet, is somebody that's really for you. And I've gotten much more open-minded about, you know, people like air signs getting together with earth signs. Typically for Gemini, I wouldn't see you really, you know, having much in common with earth signs. Maybe finding them too practical, and you know, that sort of thing. But I do feel that, especially with Virgo, that there may be some kind of affinity. So, I mean, you're both ruled by Mercury. There you go. But, and that person might be the one to ground you. This energy is very, very masterful in terms of controlling material resources. This person can actually be a business person, can be known in the community as somebody in finance who is of benefit to other people, but it can relate to fathers. So if you, for instance, have a father of your child who's an earth sign, or maybe it's saying this is the person who would make a good father for your child. Or, you know, or would be a good person to raise a family with, versus this guy who is a good time Charlie. I think that's probably like a very old phrase, right? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, Gemini. If you'd like a personal reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great July. Bye.